Hello, everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and you're tuned in to Madden 18 on EA Sports. In today's matchup, we'll have to watch the guys up front. The Cowboys lead the league in sacks, and they'll be up against a Lions team that will need to try and keep that pass rush off balance.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys. The calendar has turned to December, and we're in the home stretch now as we're underway in Week 13. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a former Pro Bowl quarterback out of the University of Georgia, Matthew Stafford.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
One touchdown, one pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense, and hopefully springs a receiver or two free.
And the D looking like they may blitz. Now a first down throw, Stafford. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete. He was trying to get it to his tight end, Michael Roberts, there. And now it's second down. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They established the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
Play fake to Abdullah. It's Stafford. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Malik Collins coming up the middle, gets him there for a loss of about 9. And I know it seems like we say this a lot in broadcast booths, but a quarterback can hold on to the football too long in these situations. I think he did right there.
Oh, I agree with you totally. Sometimes you have to understand situations. Get rid of the football, save some yardage, but make it less to gain for the next down. Instead, he was so hipped on ball security, he held on to it and took a big sack.
Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to fourth down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the third down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up fourth down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3-and-out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure they didn't give him much run after catch.
A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by Dak Prescott, the 135th pick of the draft back in 2016 from Mississippi State.
He threw for nearly 350 yards. His team won. And one word just kept coming to mind as I watched him during the game. Surgical. Absolutely surgical. That's why he won NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, very precise. The throws maybe as accurate as he's been in some time.
Yeah, I think he feels pretty locked in here, and I think he feels like he can get it done again in this one, too. And the wideout in motion. Here
Here's the first carry for Ezekiel Elliott. Now after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Fresh set of downs here. In motion comes the tight end left. They keep on the ground with Elliott. Ooh, with a juke. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott, his 25th touchdown, tying Emmitt Smith for the 5th most in one season. And the Cowboys have taken the early lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
One play, 2 plays, touchdown. That's all it took there. A very short and sweet drive that got him in the end zone. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And Detroit getting set to go now. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. David Irving in there yet again. What else is new as he continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. So a first-quarter sack, and remember, keep in mind, he had 2 sacks in last week's game.
And it's always intriguing to me to watch these great pass rushers because some of them, they need their teammates to scheme for them, maybe occupy people and make it a one-on-one matchup. Other guys, they just defeat everything in front of them. To get 2 sacks in a game, it's a little bit of both for you. Well, as this game continues to evolve in the NFL, you know how much coaches love run after catch, but you know what they love even more? Completion.
Yeah, just holding on to the ball.
Catch it.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. David Irving in there for sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at the 23. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. He's up over 1,200 yards now on the season. Had a touchdown on that last drive as well. Things continuing to trend in the right direction for this offense, but specifically, Charles, this running game.
And it all comes back to one word, doesn't it? Cohesion. Because you have to have that. Center, guards, tackles, tight ends. Some of the wide receivers being involved. Maybe a lead runner at times, maybe a fullback. But all in all, those X's and O's on the grease board that look so nice, that turns into a jumble in real life. And these guys have to know what to do on the run, on the move. They've done it well for them all year long. While we know that the identity of this offense is to throw the ball, they've got to run it every so often, if for no other reason than to tamp down the pass rush. They can't let them just tee off and get to their quarterback.
8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott going deep for Moncrief. And a shot taken on 3rd down, unsuccessful. 4th down now.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. Back deep for the Lions, it's Golden Tate. An update now from Philadelphia. And the Bucs are out to an early lead. Still a lot of football left in that affair, but we will for sure keep an eye on it. And now let's look at the quarterback, Matthew Stafford. And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here.
Defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Now Stafford hands to Abdullah. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Here comes the D swarming to the line. Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against?
Neutral zone infraction. Defense.
A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
The penalty, Abdullah. And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Well, he's taken down, but not before picking up the first thanks to a flashy little spin move. A solid gain of 15 yards in the sticks move.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because the running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
On 2nd and 10, Stafford. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Jones. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Stafford to Jones, enough for a Lion first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
Here with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, as the Lions are in possession of the football here to begin quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. Again, it's Stafford. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
This defense not going to make it easy for you. They're a physical group, and we just saw it there on that play. It came in, made the contact, just as he's trying to haul it in.
They'll run here. Abdullah. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well.
Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Prescott looks to throw on first. Throwing over the middle, but it's incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. Offense still needing 10 yards, second down. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. On second down, Elliott. And they're able to bring him down at the 20. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it third down and less than a yard.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big pickup, and guess what? It's now third and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
And he gets it to the 32, good enough for a first down. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
I like the look that they just showed there. When you come out in a passing formation, spread things out a little bit, makes it really hard to cover the middle of the field, doesn't it? Because you got to go out to the perimeter and cover those guys.
Yep, exactly. Got some good blocking, too. Helped him pick up the first. Taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Another big gainer that time. This one goes for 19 yards.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary, and that led to a really nice game.
Clock running, under 4 to play now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a first carry for Donnell Pumphrey. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard near the 48-yard line. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. They'll try the sweep with Elliott. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Go play action, hit them over the top.
Got his target, Samuel. Touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Cowboys will add on to their lead. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
Bailey now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Amir Abdullah gearing up now to lead this offense. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement. Down on the scoreboard, maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they?
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
Here's Stafford. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And, oh, he is really laid out that time. Knocked flat on his back. It'll be a gain of 4, and that'll make it second down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
On first down, Abdullah. And that play will go nowhere. Losing yardage back near midfield at the 49. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Arlington right after this timeout. On second down, here's Stafford. Roberts with it over the middle. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. The reception good for 7. It's third down. From the gun on third down, Stafford. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Here's Sam Martin now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. He's in his zone, second quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
They start on the ground with Elliott, and he'll be taken down at the 18. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Partner, I think from our experience together, we have learned that most offensive coordinators are going to tell you, if I'm going to run the football on first down, I've got to get at least 4 yards. They got 5 here. They've got to feel pretty good about that one.
A second down throw for Prescott. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, third down.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. Prescott from the gun on third. A dump off to Elliott. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. And the tight end goes in motion left. A first down carry by Elliott. And he'll slip his way up across the 30 to the 32. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he takes this one all the way across midfield into enemy territory down to the 40-yard line. And they'll send the tight end in motion left. They'll pitch it out to Elliott. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Five yards left for the offense. It's second down. Prescott now. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Philip Dorsett, the intended receiver. And it's 3rd and 5.
I remember Philip Dorsett coming out of the University of Miami, ready to hit the league. All we talked about was speed, speed, speed. Just throw it to him, and you've got a great chance at a completion, but not that time.
Not that time. They tried a deep downfield with his speed, but incomplete. Now Prescott. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Tahir Whitehead in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. Final play of the half. Prescott. He's going to air it out for Dorsett. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. So there you have it. Halftime quickly over. Third quarter, here we go. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. Fielded about a yard deep. And some room to work. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Cowboys. Always important to get the first score of the second half. Now you start to pull away a little bit and get some breathing room going.
And now we find out about the fortitude of the group that's behind, because they were counting on getting into the game a little bit more, right? Maybe they get the first score. That doesn't happen. It looks almost insurmountable, but it's not. Let's see how hard they play the rest of the game.
Bailey now for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25. So we get a look at the Lions offense as they get ready for their first possession of the second half. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. David Irving getting him once again, his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness that defensive line is eating them away.
And the pressure gets to him again. David Irving. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
On 3rd down, Abdullah. And he's going to lose yardage here back to the 12-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
But these guys are going to chop into that deficit. They got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here's Sam Martin now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And take it right on the 30. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now, in the second half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call and get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Yeah, another good run there. He's been such a big part of their success here this afternoon. And that last carry, it puts him over 100 yards now for the day.
They'll send the tight end in motion left. They go to Elliott again. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Well, Brandon, he's had a great day, and sometimes that just happens. It is the NFL. They will make some plays against you.
They run with Pumphrey, and he'll be brought down at about the 42. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. The Cowboys on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. To throw is Prescott. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And he's going to get this one down right to the edge of the red zone of the chalk of the 20. A good pickup there at 22. That's what we're used to seeing from him right there. Plays like that, why he's number 4 in the league in terms of receiving yardage. Able to make adjustments all along the way. Doesn't matter where he lines up, where he releases from. Working his way into the secondary, figures out defenses and finds weak spots in order to get open. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now they bring a receiver in motion right. Now Elliott. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Ezekiel Elliott, his 26th touchdown, drawing even with Marshall Faulk for the 4th most in a single season. And the Cowboys will extend their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now. Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so. Bailey now to kick this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. So a jump there defensively. And it's a killer. Watch the football. Don't move across the line of scrimmage until the ball moves. Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
Encroachment, defense.
Well, they didn't really have to earn that first down, did they?
Well, they're not having to earn much, are they? Back-to-back penalties. First was 1st and 5, and now they give them a first down.
Now a play fake here on first down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Jamarcus Lawrence in there with pressure yet again, and that's the 7th time they've dropped him here this afternoon. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons. An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right now...
Oh, a hit. He lost the football. Stafford puts it on the ground. It's picked up by the Cowboys, and they will take over at the 29-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Curtis Samuel and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. And the previous drive put him up over 1,000 yards for the season. So now it's what you like to refer to, my friend, as gravy time, right?
It is. I mean, he's done it, right? He's accomplished the goal. So the good players, they relax a little. They bask in it. They think this is, okay, we've done what we set out to do. The great players decide to push that number as high as they possibly can. I don't expect him to have any let-up in his game the rest of the way.
Great thing if you're on the opposite side. He's such a weapon. He just opens things up for the other guys around him.
Yeah, if you're the opposite receiver, you should expect a few passes to come your way, too, because I've got to kick coverage in his direction.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. Again, it's Elliott. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there, but it's enough to give him a new set of downs.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
The give is to Elliott. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Back now here on EA Sports. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. They'll run with a former Tar Heel, T.J. Logan. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It's an 8-yard pickup, and it leads to a 1st and goal. They'll try to run it in, going option right. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. They go back to Elliott. He's been busy. And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a couple yards there, and that's going to set up a long 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up third.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
They lost 2, and it brings up fourth. On this day, the ground has been his, but at least on that individual play, we just saw the defense finally with a win.
Yeah, they finally got one, and that's a win for them, but all game long, he's seen the holes, and they've been huge for him. Kind of like a baseball hitter in the zone. The ball seems bigger, and he's just whacking it. These guys, they got it going today.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens things out even further here in the fourth.
Hey, in this league, you can never have too much. So if you're in range, grab the 3 whenever you can.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. And Detroit getting set to go now. And the turnover last time, that's sort of been symptomatic of their struggles here in this one.
Big word. I like it, though, because you're exactly right.
Like that, don't you?
All game long, they've struggled moving the ball, turning it over on the last possession. Is that word again, symptomatic?
Yeah.
I like that.
Your analysis, symptomatic of the success of this broadcast.
What I like is that you gave me the word, and I just kept using it. I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's third down.
What's the old adage? Be quick, but don't hurry? Well, that went right out the window there. He was hurried, harassed. That ball had to be gotten rid of, otherwise he was going to get sacked.
Now it's Stanford. And the Cowboys' pressure gets there this time for the sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. Fielded just inside the 30. So possession goes over here on the punt. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
Prescott, he's letting this one go for Fuller. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Cowboys. Will Fuller with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Cowboys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. Bailey now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Detroit getting set to go now. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right.
On 1st and 10, Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Stafford now on 2nd down. And got his tight end, Duarte. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
I think it's okay there. They didn't get a whole lot on that play, but it's nice to have a safety valve that's built like this guy. Big target, guy you can spot pretty easily. Put it on him when your other targets aren't open.
This is screen to Abdullah. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down. The screen gets 7. But it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Sam Martin now. Time for a break as he's on to punt for Detroit. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Detroit. This is taken at about the 14. And a big hit there as he runs into a brick wall right there around the 35-yard line. On the NFL scoreboard there in the 4th quarter in Philadelphia. And you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. We'll keep you updated on that one as it progresses. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will force his way forward for a yard or 2, but I have a good feeling this will be coming back.
Holding offense.
Can see this quite a bit on running plays where the guy's out wide. A lot of times, though, it doesn't get caught.
You're exactly right, because it's away from the play usually, so a lot of it goes undetected. But I know this will surprise you. I coach some receivers in the offseason. We work a lot on hand placement and blocking downfield. Might want to take that course.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And he powers his way up past the 30. Give him 5 yards there, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Throwing here, Prescott. Wide open receiver complete. A big hit. Knocked down sideways right at the 45. That one goes for 24 yards. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
That's Samuel, caught left side. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. That's happened, Charles. You play to the final whistle, I get that, but there are a few folks that might not be too happy with that score late in the game with it already well at hand.
You seem a little squeamish about that last score.
I struggle with it. I struggle. But on the other, the argument, I get it, on the other side is, hey, do something about it. Stop them.
I guarantee you, I know who was really excited. Fantasy owners who had them. Hey, listen, get the points for me. They're not worried about hurt feelings or anything like that. That's just new age stuff.
Bailey now to kick this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Now the Lions offense, they get ready to head back out there. They are down big. They have not scored a single point. I don't know. Are they so defeated at this point you just want to get in the locker room, get the heck out of here?
That is one way to approach it. Sometimes coaches say, that's it, okay? It hasn't worked all game. There's no sense in doing something now. Let's get out of here. No one gets hurt. But others will look at it and say, we still have an opportunity to do something
on the line.
Exactly. You have pride on the line, execution as you look forward and get ready for your next game, and a message to your team. We're not going to quit. No matter what the battle is, we're going to finish this thing out.
They'll fake it. Now Stafford. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Stafford gives to Abdullah on the draw. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. And now the Cowboys are going to call another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. Here's Sam Martin now, standing just outside his own goal line. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. That's pulled in at the 32. It's a nifty return of 29 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before we hit triple zeros. And this will likely be the last play and wrap things up. Well, Prescott here to throw. Going deep for Moncrief. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end. But now this game is over. On the NFL scoreboard there in the fourth quarter in Philadelphia. And you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. Another victory perhaps in the cards. They're looking as good as anybody as the playoffs draw near. The storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column, too.
So for the Cowboys, they continue to be one of the best teams around as they move to 10-2. And they will hit the road next week for a date with the Philadelphia Eagles. Meanwhile, for the Lions, it was a win they needed to turn the season around, but instead, they fall to 5-7. And they'll have a chance at redemption next week at home against the Los Angeles Rams. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Cowboys as we sign off and say so long from Arlington.